Welcome to 2026, a year where metabolic science has finally cracked the code on stubborn fat. Today, we reveal the absolute fastest, scientifically proven blueprint to systematically eliminate deep visceral fat. For years, you have been told that losing fat is just about eating less and moving more. But the truth is far more mechanical, governed by precise biological pathways that most people completely ignore. Take Luis, for example. By applying these exact three rules, he completely transformed his midsection in just 8 weeks, reversing years of sluggish metabolism and chronic fatigue. Or Mario, who broke through a decade-long plateau, shedding inches of deep abdominal fat while preserving his hard-earned lean muscle mass using our targeted mechanical protocols. And then there is Mauricio. At 52 years old, he achieved near 0% visceral fat in 26 weeks, revealing defined vascularity and abdominal muscles for the very first time. In this video, I'll give you the exact same rules they use to succeed. These rules attack visceral fat from two fronts simultaneously, stopping new accumulation and mobilizing what you already carry. No fluff, no generic advice. We are diving straight into the mechanics. To defeat your enemy, you must first understand exactly what you are fighting against, because most people get this entirely wrong. Most people assume all abdominal fat is the same. They believe that if they can see it and pinch it, they know exactly where the problem lies. But biologically, this is a massive misconception. Your body carries two completely distinct types of fat. They possess entirely different biological functions, behave differently under hormonal influence, and carry vastly different health consequences. The first is subcutaneous fat. This is the soft layer resting directly beneath your skin. It is the fat you can easily pinch around your waistline, hips, thighs, and upper arms. While subcutaneous fat might frustrate you when looking in the mirror, it is mostly a cosmetic issue. It acts as an energy buffer and insulation, but it is not the true danger to your longevity. Visceral fat, however, is entirely different. You cannot pinch it because it is locked deep within your abdominal cavity, packed tightly around your liver, pancreas, intestines, and heart. This hidden fat is the true enemy. It is a highly active metabolic organ that silently wreaks havoc on your system. It does this through two primary destructive mechanisms. The first mechanism is systemic inflammation. Visceral fat is not dormant. It constantly secretes toxic inflammatory proteins called cytokines directly into your portal vein. To visualize this, think of what happens when you sprain an ankle. It becomes swollen, hot, painful, and stiff. The inflammation protects the joint, but severely limits its normal function. Visceral fat does the exact same thing to your vital organs, but silently and continuously. Your pancreas, liver, and intestines are bathed in a constant bath of low-grade inflammation. The second mechanism is insulin resistance. Visceral fat directly interferes with how your body processes glucose, preventing your muscle cells from absorbing energy efficiently. Instead of storing glucose safely in your muscles, your pancreas is forced to pump out more insulin, shunting that excess sugar straight into your liver to be converted into even more fat. This creates a vicious, self-reinforcing cycle that leads directly to metabolic syndrome, fatty liver disease, and eventually insulin-dependent type 2 diabetes. The physical compression is just as bad. Visceral fat physically crowds your organs, restricting blood flow and directly contributing to arterial plaque, heart disease, and stroke. The clinical data is absolutely clear. High levels of visceral fat are directly linked to an increased risk of cardiovascular disease, cognitive decline, Alzheimer's, and cancer. But here's the breakthrough. Recent clinical trials utilizing high-resolution MRI and CT scans have identified specific protocols that target this dangerous fat depot directly. These studies revealed that subjects could achieve a 14 to 37% reduction in visceral fat in just 12 weeks, even without major changes on the scale. This means your body can undergo a complete metabolic recomposition, even if you look relatively thin on the outside. If you suffer from low energy or bloating, this applies to you. So pay close attention and stay with me until the very end. Let us break down rule number 1, the Japanese fasted walking technique. Most people completely underestimate walking because it does not feel exhausting. They assume that to burn serious fat, they must engage in high-intensity running or HIIT workouts. But the metabolic data tells a completely different story. When you walk at a moderate, steady pace, your body derives 70 to 80% of its energy directly from fat stores. When you run, that fat burning ratio drops below 50%. The high intensity forces your muscles to rely heavily on fast burning glycogen, leaving deep fat stores largely untouched. More importantly, steady state walking preferentially mobilizes visceral fat over subcutaneous fat. It is the perfect mechanical tool to target the deepest, most dangerous fat depots. However, walking aimlessly is not enough. To double your metabolic results without spending more time, you must apply a highly specific, structured progression. Open your phone's health app right now and look at your monthly step average. Whatever that number is, your immediate goal is to add 1,000 steps per day this week. Continue adding 1,000 steps daily each week until you reach a consistent range of 12,000 to 15,000 steps. This is the ultimate metabolic sweet spot. Over a decade of clinical observation has proven that this specific step threshold is where visceral fat mobilization transitions from a slow crawl to a consistent rapid burn. But here is the real game changer. 60% of those daily steps must be accumulated during a single structured morning walk performed in a completely fasted state. The mechanical protocol is simple. Eat your final meal of the day before 8 p.m. This establishes a firm boundary for your nighttime digestive window. The next morning, immediately upon waking, consume a single cup of black coffee or water and head out the door for a 30 to 60-minute brisk walk. Why is this fasted window so incredibly effective? After a night of sleep, your liver's glycogen stores are depleted and your circulating insulin levels are at their lowest point. In this low insulin state, your body has no easily accessible glucose for fuel. It is forced to look elsewhere, and the very first source it taps is your visceral fat. A comprehensive 2024 meta-analysis confirmed that combining fasted exercise with intermittent fasting reduces deep visceral fat far more effectively than fed state exercise. Now, let us introduce the Japanese interval technique that makes this fasted walk 10 times more potent. Documented by researchers at Shinshu University, it works like this. Begin with a gentle 5-minute warm-up walk. After that, alternate between 3 minutes of fast walking, pushing your heart rate to about 70% of your maximum. This should be a pace where you can still speak in short sentences, but holding a continuous conversation feels challenging. Then, transition immediately into 3 minutes of slow walking. Repeat this cycle 5 times for a total of 30 minutes, and finish with a 5-minute cool down. This simple protocol stimulates mitochondrial biogenesis like nothing else. The benefits extend far beyond fat loss. This technique can increase your VO2 max by up to 15% in a few months, which is a massive marker for overall longevity. Studies also show a 3-fold improvement in blood pressure regulation and up to 6 centimeters lost from the waistline in just 5 months of consistent practice. Best of all, walking has a tiny recovery cost. You can perform this daily without straining your joints, allowing you to build a sustainable habit that lasts for years. Now, let us move to rule number 2, the gut fire protocol. You have likely heard that fat loss is 80% nutrition. This protocol is the exact scientific execution of that rule. The absolute core of this protocol is hormonal control, specifically managing insulin. When insulin is chronically elevated, your body is locked in fat storage mode. Our goal is not to eliminate insulin, but to keep it low and stable through strategic food choices, allowing your body to access deep fat stores for fuel. Step 1 of the gut fire protocol is the absolute elimination of ultra-processed foods. To understand why, let us compare a whole organic apple to a bag of potato chips. An apple contains natural sugars, but it is also packed with complex fiber and water. Your body must work hard to break it down, releasing sugar slowly into your bloodstream. The potato chip, however, is pre-digested by industrial machines. The fiber is gone, meaning the starch hits your bloodstream instantly, causing a massive, destructive insulin spike. Step 2 is incorporating foods that actively stoke your metabolic fire. These foods share two unique characteristics: high protein density and powerful anti inflammatory properties. Protein has an incredibly high thermic effect. Your body burns up to 30% of the calories consumed in protein just to digest and process it, boosting your resting metabolism. Before we reveal the full food list, let us discuss two powerful metabolic beverages. The first is raw, unfiltered apple cider vinegar, a staple backed by rigorous clinical trials. Clinical studies show that consuming acetic acid, the active compound in vinegar, before a meal reduces post meal blood sugar spikes by up to 20%. Acetic acid works by slowing gastric emptying, allowing nutrients to enter the small intestine gradually, and by directly activating AMPK, your master metabolic switch. To apply this, mix 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar in a glass of warm water and drink it 10 minutes before your two largest meals of the day. The second beverage is high quality green tea. Green tea is rich in EGCG, a powerful antioxidant clinically proven to target visceral fat mobilization. EGCG works by inhibiting the enzyme that breaks down norepinephrine, your primary fat burning hormone, keeping your body in an active fat burning state for longer. Drink 3 to 5 cups of organic green tea daily, ideally unsweetened and without milk, as dairy proteins can bind to EGCG and reduce its absorption. Now, let us outline the core foods of the gut fire protocol: wild caught salmon, mackerel, and sardines, which are packed with anti inflammatory omega 3 fatty acids. Next is authentic Greek yogurt containing Lactobacillus gasseri, a specific probiotic strain shown in clinical trials to reduce visceral fat by 8% in 12 weeks. Combine this with prebiotic-rich fermented foods like kimchi, kefir, and sauerkraut to optimize your gut microbiome, which plays a massive role in systemic inflammation. Round out your shopping list with organic blueberries, dark leafy greens, chia seeds, raw almonds, avocados, free-range eggs, and mineral-rich nori seaweed. This brings us to rule number 3, the double fasting approach. Fasting is one of the most powerful yet widely misunderstood metabolic tools in existence. A groundbreaking 2023 study confirmed that structured intermittent fasting significantly reduces visceral fat while preserving lean muscle mass, even in obese subjects. The double fasting approach combines two distinct fasting protocols to maximize metabolic flexibility and accelerate your progress to the absolute limit. Level 1 requires a single 24-hour fast once per week. For example, eat your final meal on Sunday at 8 p.m. and do not consume calories until Monday at 8 p.m. Because you sleep for 8 of those hours, you are only actively awake for 16 hours of fasting. It is incredibly simple once you master the mental transition. Level 2 applies to the remaining 6 days of the week, where you follow a standard 16-8 intermittent fasting split, skipping breakfast daily. During your fasting windows, your body enters a state of autophagy, a cellular cleanup process where damaged cells are recycled and systemic inflammation drops. Furthermore, growth hormone levels surge during extended fasts, protecting your muscle tissues from breakdown and ensuring that all weight lost is pure fat. Always break your fast with the apple cider vinegar protocol we discussed earlier. This primes your digestive tract and prevents rapid blood sugar spikes. By combining fasted walking, the gut fire protocol, and double fasting, you create an inescapable metabolic trap for your deep visceral fat. These 3 rules are not based on fad diets or temporary trends. They are grounded in the fundamental, unyielding laws of human biochemistry and metabolic science. Luis, Mario, and Mauricio are real people who achieved extraordinary results by applying these exact principles with consistency and dedication. Now, it is your turn. What is your ultimate metabolic goal for 2026? Share your commitment in the comments section below so we can support your journey. If you are a busy individual looking for a step-by-step daily schedule to make this entire process effortless, Our very next video is designed specifically for you. Thank you for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay updated with the latest in cutting edge metabolic science. See you next time.